Underneath the gorgeous sunlight is the Daytona International Speedway. We are in for a new era of lower division BPNR racing. This is the inaugural R plus L Carriers Truck Championship. It is a separate continuity to what used to be Division number 2. I'll explain further when we get there, but right now, qualifying is kind of a mess right now, so we might as well look at the schedule where we get a confirmation on that. So tonight, we got Daytona, 14 races upon us here, and unlike the Cup Division, this is a full season points format, but there are 3 drop races, so if you miss a race or you just have a poor race, it can be dropped. So 11 out of the 14 races contributes to the championship fight. Now, I have my gripes about that kind of championship format, but it's a whole can of worms, honestly. Still got a few minutes left, or seconds left rather, so what's going on with qualifying? Well, the whole hype around this truck program got a lot of positive praise. So much so, we have 42 entrants attempting to qualify. But the league only has 36 cars in a race. Now that number exploded to a point where we need a second server, which is currently being hosted by William Villa, just only for himself and Hector Garcia, as far as I know. So, and got confirmation that those two have actually made it, so what they're gonna do is they'll just start the race at the tail end, as while their names are still within this server hosted by Jonathan Salos. It's just, I don't know, I can't really tell you with 100% certainty that this was the best approach to qualifying, but I don't know, I can't think of a better idea. So, with that, we got lots to cover with this new division. This one is not regulated, as in if you're new to BPNR, you do not need to start with this division. You could go to the Cup division if you want, and also you could do both full time if you wish. So no restrictions on how many starts you can do and all that stuff that D2 used to have. It is just a separate division, separate program that runs on Wednesdays. And there's a lot more lenient in terms of number selection. It used to be that you have to carry both numbers, or your car number, in both divisions. Now you get free to choose whatever. And yeah. And along with that, we got a whole separate mod to go with it. This is the Project Wildfire Craftsman Truck Series mod from the 2000s. 2004, I want to say. I may forget what year exactly, but just commonly referred to as the 2003 trucks. That's just how simple it is to get around here. You may notice this is a different Daytona. We're using Daytona BR. And we saw this a little bit with D2 last season, and I get the idea with now with the track selection specifically. Like, this is what CCA used to run. Like, season 9 was, they only have 4 races before that they shut down, for reasons I won't be going into. But yeah, just good to see that these CCA properties get reused and modern day. So finally, we do have confirmation on the order. So before we go over the actual order, let's see. So 34th place is the last driver to make it in. So that means I believe it is the 44 Jigoshu Nome who is the first car out, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he already left, so that is indeed the case. So Jigoshu Nome, Matis Wells, Rosa de la Cruz, Joe Shmuda, Dakota Vega, and Joseph Tartamella. The DNQs for today. 16 Qs. So that is consistent with the 42 car entry list for the inaugural BPNR truck race. So while we wait on that, we might as well look over the actual starting grid for today, assuming it doesn't break. Hopefully not. Hello. Okay, never mind. I'm probably just gonna stop using that. It's really... I tested it multiple times and it's within the past hour even. I just don't get it. Alright. I can't speak. Advanced scene switcher can be really useful, but also really buggy at the same time. Just tinkering with it. So it is ATG on pole position, and Thomas Truxell joins him on the front row. Joshua Clement is third, with Cole Rodriguez at fourth. Fifth and sixth, row 3, got Stephen Gibson and Lana Lau. Julian Howell and Daniel Rivera, row 4. Robbie Gilbin and Noel Nichols, row 5. Row 6 has Riley Trewick and Skylar Dana. Row 7 has Jackson Brown and Daniel Rodriguez. Roman Gonzalez and Anthony Downey just behind them in row 8. While row 9 has Riley Goff and Sebastian Kugelan. Row 10, we got Harry Crawford and Ruby Estes, and Kirsten Bell and Lane Johnson. And just the row behind them. It will be Dragons, or we can not have the running order, qualifying order, that's cool. Oh my lord, dude. We cannot have anything. We're already like 13 minutes behind schedule as is, and ultimately, the big reason was because Garcia couldn't reconnect. Even though his name was already in the system and R just did not allow. So I guess we're going to re-rack them to do another qualifying session, which isn't fun, but there's nothing really more we can do except just wait this out, hopefully. Alright, so they're gonna qualify again, but this is only for pit selection. And while I don't have any evidence of the actual lineup, y'all probably saw the tail end of the grid, so just refer to that. And what I would imagine is that they'll take the opening lap to sort themselves out, unfortunately. Much like the duels, except this was pretty much unprompted. Hey. Let me look. Okay, someone did post the rest of the lineup, thankfully, in the BPNR Discord, which you can join. So, well, they're qualifying again. Might as well go over the rest of them. I left off with Laudenbach and Dylan DeGron in row 12. So it would then go to Dragons and Lexi Herman in row 13, Carl Childress and Sierra Cooper in row 14. Row 15 has Ryan Scarrett and Thomas Johnson, Matt McIntyre and Ace Racer. In row 16, 17 has Chris Stallmeyer and Marine Bell. And then, as I mentioned before, it is William Viola and Hector Garcia who qualified on the second server. They did post, both of them posted times fast enough to make the show. So with that, both of them will be at the back of the grid. So 18 rows, 36 cars with 42 engines. Man, like, I hate being this stressful already, and frankly, Lau also has to deal with this as the race admin, but also a racer. Got 1 minute 15 still. Already at my truck, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I already boarded my lap, so it is what it is. What can I talk about with 40 seconds left? Well, I suppose with all this BPNR madness, just technically 4 races I have to stream this week. But good news is that next Friday, that'll be the 14th, the Budweiser Cup Series, which is the other league I stream, has unveiled their schedule quite a few days back, so I might as well give a shout out to them. With Jukushu Nome, league admin over there, unfortunately failed to qualify for tonight's race, but yeah. I'll go more in depth come next Friday, but I can point out that there's a good amount of unique tracks here. I'm seeing Gateway, got Mexico City, got Old Spice. Okay, I see you. That's 14 races for the Budweiser Cup Series, which is down from the 18 races they've been running the past few seasons. So again, I'll go more into depth come their race day, but that'll be invalid here. HG wins pole again, so well, there is he gets first pit box and play. So another big difference with the truck races compared to the cup races is that they do have their own points format. It's a separate thing. I mean, if I can find it. Okay. So first place, the race winner gets 55 points. Second place gets 45. Third gets 40. Fourth gets 37 and continue down until 10th place where they get 25 points. And then it's one less point onwards from there. But 30th through 36 get 35 points. DQs get 0. There is no provos, nor are they halfway stage points given out. And like I mentioned top of the show, 3 drop races throughout the 14 race calendar here. So that'll be a bit interesting. Bonus points are still an option. It'll be 1 point for leading 8 laps during the race. Whoever leads the most laps gets 2 points, pole position gets 1 point, which goes to AGG, and the fastest lap also gets 1 point. Like I mentioned, I kind of and I don't really like the drop races, mostly because the calculations it takes. Like, if I were a driver, like, I would like to know what my situation is heading into the championship race and not have to deal with the fact that I could do my math for one thing and end up being horribly wrong, and that really affects your end race strategy. So, ideally, what I would want to do if I had to do a league with a drop race system is that um it would still be there, but I would still like it to where the championship race um gets counted towards the tally no matter what. So even if you flounder that final race, it gets added to your total, and that makes calculations a whole lot easier because for the average person, they're going to use just the end race results and not really think about the minimum amount of points. So I don't know, it's really strange just trying to explain it, but if you follow leagues like Gnarl or CCRS, two leagues owned by Cameron Jameson that use a drop rate system, uh, you'll get the idea I'm trying to make. But for those not in the NR space or just never heard of the drop race formula, then I'm sorry that my explanation isn't the best, but that's just the best way to display my frustrations with this system. But looks like we are set to go here. Yes, we are about to begin.
Drivers, to your cars.
Ready? Alright, left my truck, so it's up to the 36 trucks that are starting the race to grid up here. And we're already gonna have a reset, because it's just an NR bug with Tradewick unfortunately not being able to drive, so play. Try it again.
Drivers, to your cars.
And this is also bad timing, but I do unfortunately have to go AFK for only a few minutes. Hopefully I should be back before the proper green flag. They will take the first lap here to sort out the starting order, so I'll leave you. I might actually leave the TeamSpeak audio open so you can hear race control do their thing. Well, I have to do stuff in the background here, so I'll be back.
Drivers, start your engines.
Yeah, I'm just gonna count as 36th and last, so I'm just whatever. He wants to leave and mess everything up, that's fine. Alright, so when we cross the line for the green guys, I'd like for everyone to pace at a solid 40 miles per hour, slowly, in a single file line. If you know where you are, then that's fine, but I'm gonna read it out anyway. All right, so just to get things started here at 40 miles per hour. Once we cross the line, the front row is Alex and Troxel. Then it is Joshua and Colrad. We got you cleared it. Then it's Steven and me. Cole, I need you to get. Is Cole even here? Okay, Cole, get next to Josh. Okay, there you go. Sorry to recognize your car. All right, there we go. And then it's Jelani and Rivera. Then it is Noel and Riley. I'm ignoring Robbie in the order now since he's not here. After Noel and Riley, or I say Riley, I say Trewick. So that's Skylar and Jackson Brown. Then it is D-Dog and Roman. Then it is Gatlin and Riley Goff. Then it is Sebastian Kukulon and Harry Crawford. Then it is Ruby and Kirsten. Then it is Elaine and Landon. Then it is Dylan and Dragons. After that, it's Lexi and Carl. Then it is Sierra and Scarrett. Then it is Doge and McIntyre. Then it is Ace Racer and Chris Stottlemyre. Then it is Marin and Juco. Wait, no, not Juco. Yeah, okay. And then at the end of the field, yeah, Viola and Hector. Thanks. Sorry, I was just reading it. No, if we're not taking anyone to the back after all of that, it's your fault. I'm sorry. I don't care. Just go to the back stretch and go to the apron or something.
Alrighty, returned, and yep, we are set to go green here. The order has been figured out here. Today, going to experience a 60 lap race here, CTS Physics 2X rare, so 2 pit stops at minimum, and points of no return is at 4 to go. A highly praised inauguration of the BPNR Truck Series is going to be Season 7 Cup Champion Alexander Gonzalez Green, who leads us to the green flag. And we are getting a huge stack up, but we are racing. Yeah, that terrible stack up caused a lot of mischief in the mid-pack especially, so people in the back are already strung out single file, and it's just going to be a long ride for these truckers. AGG in the number 5, Mike Skinner inspired truck, who gets clear, going to slide in front of Steven Gibson, the defending Cup Series champion, and Thomas Troxel, who came off yesterday as the one of 2 dual winners. So already a strong competition as a top 3 leading the train. We also got Jelani Howell just tucked in behind those 3 in 4th place. Leading outside, Riley Trevick, number 21 in the Cadillacs truck. Got Joshua Clemens, number 48, drafting up with her. And it'll be Cole Rodriguez on the top side, 3rd in line. And the Great Clips, number 91. Gotta get used to 2 different rosters here with the new number claiming changes for BPNR in terms of the two divisions, but most drivers remain the same. But there are a couple exceptions to that. EGG and Steven Gibson, just two off the top of my head. But here comes the 66 of Daniel Rodriguez. Gonna try his hand on leading the top side. The most recent Talladega winner in the BPNR lore, but during the chase race. So it's already starting to look a lot like what we've been seeing with the Clash and the duels. It's just everyone's gonna go trying to go single file towards the bottom, but with 36 car trucks rather, anything's still possible. You can still get a huge amount of help and at very minimum play even with the bottom line. Yes, there goes Daniel Rodriguez and maybe Trinick to the bottom. Or Trinick can go back to the top side, maybe trying to peek out outside to lead that train of trucks again as we're 5 laps in. Atlanta Lau, number 99, the Windows XP truck, trying to give everything he can to this top side, but is already starting to die off. As both Trewick and Dida have been inconsistently changing lines, it's just not helping their case. So it's effectively 3 cars versus 20 or so. On the bottom, we do have one DNF already. I find them 27 of Viola. Has an RNG failure, unfortunately. Only lap 7 of 60. And he was one of those drivers who had to qualify in a second server. But still, good things to him for providing that second server. It was on Radman, but still. Yeah, everyone has pretty much flocked down to the bottom. There's still a few refugees on top. Will be 4 trucks. Still Riley Trewick, Daniel Rodriguez, Joshua Clements, and Cole Rodriguez. Stranded out there. They're trying to find a hole, but can't currently find one. Yeah, just single file train, nothing really to talk about. Unfortunately, we're only 8 laps in, so it's just one of those things. But then ours is not necessarily the game's fault, but more just the collective meta. Is that the bottom line is always going to be better at these big super speedways, and once there isn't enough people to survive the top side, there's little to no reason to go trying again, as long as everyone has the same idea of just play calm and just ride around until the first set of green flag pit stops. As D-Dax slots in, and you just saw that. The E3 of Noel Nichols, unsponsored black and red truck, leads the top side now, listed 7th place, now 9th place as the game updates. But D-Duck immediately goes back up to lead the top side. And now the outside's starting to see the numbers again. Counting 6, now down to 5. Nose to tail, Lana Lyle and Harry Crawford trying to close in that duo. And just a few stragglers back here. Garcia, number 29, the other driver who had to qualify on that second random server. Coming off the Budweiser Cup Series Championship win. And currently back here, 29 is now 28th place as he makes a pass. E3, Noelle Nichols, she's on pretty much the wall, almost. And she's going to opt to go to the rear here, or maybe there is a warping issue, as the global TeamSpeak suggests. Circling back towards the front, it is still EGG race leader Stephen Gibson P2, Thomas Troxel in 3rd. Jelani Howell P4 and Skylar Den in 5th. Side by side for 8th place as Gatlin Downey. Haven't seen him in a little while. And the number 90 or 35, sorry, Tabasco. Tabasco livery. Oh, looked like the early mid corner bump trap got wrong, but they were really lucky that they were able to survive. Now D-Dog's gonna swamp him 3 wide in the middle line, leaving the 35 out to dry on the outside. And once you lose that track position, you just see all those cars around you passing on the bottom. Just wave you goodbye, as you're pretty much sent to the rear. So it's D-Dog now pushing along the 80 of Landon Lonnenbeck on top side. Ryan Trewick 3rd on the top, or now 4th place, as here comes 48 of Joshua Clements. Gonna try this again. He's one of those drivers who likes to try something different, and if that means chugging along the non-dominant line to the front, he is going to at least make that attempt as much as he can before his experience kicks in, deciding to drop back low and just play his part on the choo-choo train around the Daytona International Speedway. We are 5 so laps away from our first set of green flag pit stops. The fuel tank around here, around Daytona, could go about 20 laps. But with that opening lap being under pacing conditions, this allows better fuel mileage, at least from what the duels had to provide with that info. Drivers then went up to as long as the end of lap 21, so it matches up. And over the global TeamSpeak, already being warned about the huge group trying to pit Roman Gonzalez and Murren Bell. They're 2 stragglers currently, so with those 2 by themselves, and yeah, so it's actually 35 that started, as it's still only 27 of Viola who is the only DNF so far with a RNG failure. The 35 trucks still really good, just missed out on the 36 car quota. Sorry, gonna see it. Maybe a couple early goers. No, they pulled down to the below the yellow line there. Rivera, number 15, and the 87 of. Let me find them. Ruby Estes. So they went down below the apron, but never actually went into the pit lane. With Jackson Brown getting shuffled out, he was 10th place, going across the stripe. At least with the dual races, they were pretty clean. Like, I give it 8 out of 10 in terms of how clean they were. There were a couple of spins, a couple of moments, especially in that second dual race, but still, we never saw a caution in either of those divisions, and especially not under green flag pit stops. As we do see one pitting now, that being the 177 of Matt McIntyre. Well, he's being by himself, and while it is a safer option, ultimately it just compromises his entire race as he has no one to work with once he exits. At best, he can pick up one of the couple of stragglers I mentioned, but I don't see that being any better. So now the entire field has gone single file as they prepare for the first set of green flag pit stops, lap 19 of 20 now. Or, well, 21 rather, within this fuel stint. We got a couple of Goober cars together, that being Houston Bell number 29 you're on board with, and up ahead is Dylan Negron number 77. There's also the 92 Murray Bell. I don't believe it's any relation to Kirsten, never seen them before. Those three running Goober cars. Goober, the cat that's plastered here, is actually Kirsten's cat. And has become integral to the BPNR lore, I suppose. They currently run 12th and 13th, Negron and Kirsten, while Murren is 33rd, I believe, by themselves. 32nd. As Roman Gonzalez gets laps, so he and Matt McIntyre are both lapped. Feeling this is the lap where we expect green flag pit stops to come in, or at least starts. As we hit that window, still only one coming in, that being Sierra Cooper. I don't know about that. I don't think he bogged it down to 55 miles per hour. I believe it starts at the white line. Jackson Brown also coming in, so at least Cooper has someone to work with, as long as he can make his pit stall. He fails to do that, so that's going to cost him time. And I don't expect Jackson Brown to wait on him, so effectively they just screwed each other over. So it is lap 21, about to go into lap 22. This is the lap where everyone, mostly everyone comes in, including the two leaders. Oh, the E2 locking up. As Steven Gibson and July Howell try to turn into his pit box and gets turned. So does Riley Treyway in a 4-wide situation. Joshua Clemens misses the pit lane and has to go through the grass. It's just really chaotic on the opening group to come into the pits. A few of them stayed out, 6 of them. And I expect them to come in this lap now, just playing it safe, and they figure with closer to 30 cars coming in at the same time is going to create a whole lot of mess. And we have certainly saw that with 3 trucks at minimum. There may have been more I missed. So as the first group exits, Steven Gibson leads over EGG. As that second group, a group of 6 that were on the lead lap still, opting to pit this lap. And this time around's a lot cleaner, and having cleaner pit stops is definitely going to play a huge factor on who can get out of the pits first. It'll be the 45 Sebastian Kugelon who leads this group, but the leaders, provisional leaders heading in, are already on the move, going 190 into turn 1 versus 150 miles per hour from the cars exiting. So it's going to be Stephen Gibson who leads over Alexander Gonzalez Green and Thomas Troxel. Still the same top 3 in terms of drivers, but flip the top 2 around. With Daniel Rivera, number 15, 4th place. About to be, as the game will sort them out. But he's still within the draft, so effectively, there's still a good amount of cars in potential to win here. And one of them would not be Stallmeyer, who just pitted by himself. This is the furthest anyone has gone, but by himself, it's just not doing him any favors. So after pit stops, I believe it is going to be this top 8 here who are going to get out of this first pit cycle as the big winners here. We may see 9s of Kugelon and 10s of Elaine Johnson try their best to get there, but ultimately they're just gonna have to trust each other to not do an overtake, i.e. the 55 getting around the 45. And I did spot this up the road, but it is Joshua Clemens who missed on a pit road, had to duck through the grass, and Ryan Scarrett, number 71. The 2 lap cars ahead of the leaders. They're gonna go side by side here, which is really interesting. We'll see what the leaders are gonna have to deal with. This is really bad. This is really bad. Ultimately, they played it safe. Just push along the 48 of Joshua Clements. Just really bizarre lap car behavior, though surprisingly no wreck from it. And I don't know if this was a deliberate move or this just happened to be the case for Joshua Clemens. He will lead the lead group, but he's going to be on the tail end of the lead lap here. 9s and 10s did find their way to the lead group, so now it is 12 cars in that draft up the road as we ride on board with 29 trying to push the line back, but 10 of them on the lead lap. See where the next big group is. They're over at exiting turn 2 now, being led by Lexi Herman in 13th place, and it is Landon Lyle and Dragons 14th and 15th. Those are the top 3 within this second group. And that kind of just brings up my point about the green flag pit stops having the track position and also clean pit stops. It's just, if you're having to pit from the middle and the back of the pack, you're having to avoid the carnage that we saw, and you're also having to check up for trucks that are either leaving or just trying to slow down, find their pit box, and that costs full-on seconds compared to just on track. And it may be worse under caution flag, but ultimately, if you don't optimize your pit lane, not just by being clean, but really being fast, entering the actual pit stop, exiting, it can cost you a lot, and that's what happened to the majority of the field right now. Coming along to lap, Matt McIntyre So that'll put him 1 lap down. I believe it is... Let me check. But that was going to be 29 cars on the lead lap. Joshua Clemens still in front of Gibson on the lead lap, on the verge of going 1 down. And Clemens just gotta hope that a caution were to come out soon before the leaders decide to abandon him. There's one going up top, only to come back in line. That'll be Ryan Scarrett's, the other lapped car, who at this current moment holds the lucky dog position. 5th in line and number 71. Kind of just separating the top 3 from the rest of this top 10. But Daniel Rivera having to sit behind him. We have just breached halfway in the Florida Dodge Dealers 150 and the inaugural BPNR Truck Championship, currently being led by Steven Gibson, Alexander Gonzalez Green in P2, Thomas Troxel in 3rd, Daniel Rivera in 4th place, Cole Rodriguez in 5th, Dylan Negron in P6, Harry Crawford, your pole sitter for Friday's Cup race, in 7th place, Skylar Den in 8th, who just blinked out, Sebastian Kukla in 9th, and where is 10th place? It's supposed to be the 55 of Elaine Johnson, but they're not up here, nor are they where McIntyre is. So something must have happened with that 55 truck. So now that this top 10 place is going to be given to Landon Lomback, it was just a duel between him and Kirsten Bell, but this second group, the ultimate losers out of the first pit cycle, picking them up. So those two lead the train from 10th on back. Only have one retirement, that being William Viola with an engine failure, 29 cars on the lead lap. And now with less trucks within verge of the leader, it's become more apparent that single file is just pretty much the only way to go about it. Sure, Rivera could try to make a move to get by the last truck of Ryan Scarrett in the blue 71, but ultimately I don't see that happening. Just still have half the race to go, including one more pit stop. So he'd probably just better off waiting and hoping that Rivera, as well as other lead lap trucks behind him, can get around the lapped cars of Ryan Scarrett and Joshua Clements. Now they're starting to break off a little. It's 5 trucks trying to pull up, Ryan Scarrett being the last of them. Maybe an intentional backup from Rivera on bag, like I was mentioning, trying to set up a pass on the lapped cars. I don't know if they'll do it on track, but definitely gonna have more leverage to do so on pit road. Look back here, second group, nothing really changing. Still Lonenbag in 10th place, Kirsten Bell in 11th, and Landon Lyle in P12. Well, Daytona, at least so far during Speed Weeks, isn't the most enticing racing product you'll find. BPNR is still looking for drivers. 42 42 entrants for this race is a bit extreme, but still really good for its first race within the continuity. If you wish to join, they have this on Wednesdays as well as the Cup division on Tuesday nights. And, open to all. This is NR2003 online racing you are witnessing. Lap 36, so give or take around 5 laps from now, we're about to see the second and potentially final green flag, final pit stops here. So right now, this group is roughly 9 seconds behind the race leader, and I haven't seen much movement out of them, so they're committed to staying in line and catch the lead group. And the lead group has that same idea, just stay in line, don't make any moves on each other. Excuse me. And staying in line ultimately helps them to maintain the gap that they've been had since the conclusion of the pit stops. And although they have less trucks, that certainly has been working out for them. Effectively, 12 trucks, or 11 trucks, sorry. The 9 lead lap cars and 2 lapped cars amongst them. And minimal gain, but it's still a net gain for the lead group. In accordance to Atlanta Longback, who leads that second group. Make it turn right back into the pit lane. Roman Gonzalez just been really suffering as of late. It's like he had his issues yesterday during the duel, and that ultimately means he will not be racing in the Daytona 200, and in no better here in the truck race, sitting 34th, last car on track, 1 lap down still, but just I don't know what's been happening with Roman. He's just been really on a downhill slope. That's pretty much anywhere we go in the NR2003 space. Oh, there's a spin in this lead group, that being Joshua Clements. He was fighting for his lap to remain on the lead lap. It's going to be a single car. Oh, get off the track, bruh. Well, he stays on the inside. Good, I was going to say good job, but unfortunately, Ace Racer number 73 also spins. That will be our first caution of the day. Just really, really scary all around, and trying to find Clements here. He was leading the lead group. They're trying to stay on the lead lap, and looks like he just got a push out of the trial here with Steven Gibson, the race leader. Yeah, you see he's way on the 48, but I'm not too entirely sure if that was the ultimate reason. It may have helped the 48 go around, but just judging from the line, it looks like it just spun out on him. And look back here, we're on board with Launenbach, giving an idea of how scary this is. And well, I say that, but maybe a better person to look at will be the 73, who is amongst his mid-pack in his second group here and laying up, and just an overreaction at his part, and spins round. That triggers our first caution flag here, as not pretty much to go over. What I would like to do is actually look back at the green flag pit stops that occurred around the lap 20 to 23 range. Because there were a few incidents, especially in that first group that came in. We'll wait to see this caution flag pit stop, which with this timing ultimately means that it's more than likely going to be the final pit stop of the day for these truckers. So it looks to me that the 71 will get lucky dog. Unfortunately, for Clemens' sake, this situation. So pit road open, and everyone no-brainer decision is going to come in. Okay, I got clarification that all lapped cars get one lap back, so it is what it is. I've seen a rule in Essex as well, the Friday Night League that runs after Neural, hosted by Kirsten Bell, or where did I get Kirsten from? Crystal Bennett, sorry. They're both trans and their names start with a K. Do you really blame me? So as they go off the pit lane, it is going to be the 5 of EGG with that first pit box, winning off the pit lane. Steven Gibson P2 and Cole Rodriguez in third. Like I mentioned, I'm gonna look back at those pit stops. Quite a few lockouts. There was a spin back there I saw. It's Carl. I saw that. It's Carl Childress. What happened with him? Back here in 23rd place. Oh, he was slowing up like he should, but gets ran into. That was the 92, or 94 of Thomas Johnson. There's this with Richard Lonnie, which, because he has one of the first pit box entering, he has to slow up really early, and 13th pretty much caught off guard with that. Then there's this situation. Scare is stopping on the fast line, because his pit box is the RS. Because his pit box is right here, and didn't know about it, and just stopped trying to turn in. This is what happy hour is for. You gotta know where your pit box is, and at Daytona especially, you gotta know who your neighbors are. And with Clemens, he actually gets turned by Scare just before his shenanigans, so... And you're trying to avoid the 55 of Lane Johnson. And, yeah. Miraculously, no penalty for this. But I suppose he already hit the commitment line before getting spun. And that's pretty much why he fell out of the lead group and having to fight for his lap for majority of that second stint. So back live, the choose cone has already commenced. Because there isn't a visual choose cone, unlike the cover version of the Daytona model, they just chose at the start finish line. So it's going to be AGG who chooses the top side. He'll have control of the restarts in the number 5. It'll be Steven Gibson and the inside of the front row. Be Cole Rodriguez and Thomas Troxel row 2, Daniel Rivera and Harry Crawford in row 3. I can get a better shot at it. Look at row 4, we got London back end, Dylan Negron, and then Landon Lau and Sebastian Kukulon in row 5. So the other 6 lapped cars that haven't been granted or lap spec yet, all of them will be back on the lead lap. They'll just be at the rear of the grid for this restart. So all the trucks that remain on track will get back on the lead lap here. But quiet zone has been called. It is up to the leader to call the green flag and the non-existent dedicated restart zone on Daytona BR. Get 17 laps until the checker flag. Points of no return will be at 4 to go. Green flag. EGG already back down to the inside to cover up the 82. And already the outside lane in a disarray is Thomas Troxel, Harry Crawford, and Landon Lau, the only 3 stragglers towards the front. There is Skylar Den by themselves, 4th car on the top, but ultimately not close enough to provide any significant help. And yep, confirmation that all the lapped cars were given a lap spec, so 34 cars on the lead lap now. Still only 1 retirement in the form of William Viola. I saw a spin back there, and there is. That's going to be Ruby Estes spinning. It'll be Julian Howell. Ace Racer collected again. That'll be a caution. Let's see here. Might be better to go helicopter for this one. So it's the 87 here, Ruby Estes, and she was not clear in the slightest. Just turns across the 19 of Julian Hollow. That sends them both down the grass, and Ace Racer again getting caught up in a mess here. That'll be caution number 2. As I don't anticipate anyone pitting, as is the fuel window at this point pretty comfortably feasible to make it from here until the checker flag, and these caution laps certainly help them get a little bit more mileage out with the low speeds here. Great team, but also pretty, mm, let's call it messy, but I don't know what the best word to describe it is. It's just, we've had these couple of yellows during the second half, so there is some spiciness to it, if you will. And all those leaders at the bottom of the picture faking to pits. And that pretty much goes for almost everyone. Do have a couple actual takers that being scattered in. Who I believe has passenger side damage. Certainly looks like it from the camera here. Ace Racer got caught up in it. Ruby Estes, Julian Howell. So just those that got wrecked in this most recent wreck. And currently under caution, 14 to go. And to make it quicker, and make this a quick yellow, going to be juice cone at turn 3. Non-existent, but and I like the start finish line where there's at least a reference point. There isn't really one for turn 3. So HG first to the preemptive choose cone. So top, almost everyone flocking down to the bottom is going to be Landon Lau, the first truck on the top side. And behind him will be Daniel Rodriguez giving him pushes. And that's just really the benefit with the juice cone. It's just you get to shoot up quite a few positions. Landon Lau entered single file in 11th place. Now he's restarting on the front row. It is still going to be the 5 of Gonzalez Green who has control. And we are back green. The 5 swerving, trying to cover off both lines here. That certainly slowed out the 99, probably in a scare. And there's a caution. That is Hector Garcia. Carl Childress also collected. Reported of a flip. So we'll see if their testament is true. So Garcia restarted effectively 10th place, immediately goes towards the back here. Well, effectively 4 wide in the corner, and that is Childress riding a wall. And Garcia also catching a bit of catch fence to go along with it. The 4 wide into the corner, that being from bottom to top. Crawford, Scarrett, Childress, and Garcia all within one corner, and these 3 really just picked a bad time to really pinch each other. I guess Childress paying a little homage to a junior car that rode the wall at Richmond. Richmond or Bristol, it was either or. He knows a lot more about the DI lore more than I do, but yeah. one of those. Someone flipped. I believe it was my Trex Jr. in a bush race, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit of irony. With Childress, if you know him long enough with the NR, he is what the kids say, LARPing the Earnhardt franchise, whether it be senior, junior, junior motorsports, or even Hendrick for that matter. And a little bit much like before, is going to be top 5 into the choose code on the bottom. So that will give 6th place of Daniel Rodriguez a shot upward towards the front rows. Gonna have Riley Treatrick to assist. Then is Gatlin Downey third on the top side. Going to be restarting with 11 laps to go in Daytona Beach, Florida. Still the number 5 truck with the control of the restarts. There he goes. This time though, he backs up a little bit to pick up Gibson. And the 21 looks like did not get a good jump. That outside, once again, very separated. As they just cannot link up together to put up a fight. D-Dog very aggressively slots in front of Landon Lau to get 4th place. So at least there's a net gain for D-Dog. That leaves 3 trucks on the top side. 4th if you want to include Childress, who's not close enough. Got 10 to go. 25 miles. And much like the Cup Series, there is no overtime. So, point no return at 4 to go. Once we hit that point, there'll be no more caution flags. So the 60 laps you see on the ticker will be indeed the 60 laps. And the field goes down single file choo-choo once again on the bottom. It's just a matter of who's going to be the first to peek outside and try to make a run for it. Landon Lau won his dual race yesterday by capitalizing on the partners he had and beat out EGG, and it's going to that move for the win tonight will probably have to wait because there is a caution. There's Joshua Clements up against the outside wall. Let's be here. Crawford also collected. Caution number 3. We'll see what happens. So these two are side by side, Clements and Schwaxel. They look like netcode, honestly. Like, yeah, I think this camera will help aid in our search here. It's a little, yeah, it looks like netcode between Troxel and Clements that initially triggered a wreck here. And with that, that group sends a 76. Catching air underneath the truck, Thomas Troxel also spinning, everyone else having to dart. pretty much all ways to avoid getting collected. Right, 8 to go, and we're gonna open a pit lane this time, 7, so we're gonna go green at very minimum, at very earliest convenience, with 6 to go. So that will leave 2 laps until point of no return. And with these cautions, it's just less laps for these drivers to really buy their time to make a move. Effectively, the dominant driver of the day, Alexander Gonzalez Green. Steven Gibson did lead a good, healthy amount of laps during that second middle portion of the race after the first green flag pit stop. But apart from those two, everyone else just hasn't led a lap, at least to my knowledge. I believe there was at least 2 other lap leaders as those opted to stay out. Just a lap or 2 longer, but I'm not entirely sure who they were. There's going to be Troxel, Crawford, and Clements opting to pit, just those that wrecked. And pretty much the only reason why you're coming into pits at this point is to repair damage or get new tires if you spun. And that's going to send them quite a ways back. Troxel was third during the first stints, but just fell back afterwards, after the green flag pit stops, and could not really recover since. Everyone down on the bottom, except for Kirsten Bell, who had Sebastian Kugel on to give her the push of a lifetime. Kirsten Bell, the winningest BPNR Daytona winner within the league history. So if there's anyone who's gonna topple down Gonzalez Green, it must be that number 29. It's going to be 6 to go. 5 has control, and we are back underway. Kirsten taking advantage of AGG's big jump immediately goes inside, and there's going to be a caution, and looks to me is going to be a big one. Maybe Sierra Cooper, got Carl Childress, Joshua Clements with a plow of a lifetime to Riley Goff. Man, oh man, just a mess in the back here. Well, we got one hell of a mess here. Trying to find a start of it. I did see the 66 spin down the 8 to the infield. Just a tap from Scares on the outside, and that did that 66 in. Smacks the inside wall. I just want to look back on the restart itself, because 71 was third on top, but then didn't get a good enough jump, and might have been helps with the 13 there of Skylar Den, and that just collected everyone in the back here. Well, there's only 2 points in laugh at, if I can find them. It'll be the 48 of Joshua Clements. Finally found him, golly. Go on board with him as he negotiates through the wreck, or at least trying to. Don't fault him completely because the 46 was starting to reverse. That would be Riley Goff in a unsponsored truck. Caution number 4, and this will also be the final caution. As we're about to cross over into the point of no return. At their massive wreck, heading into turn 1. Alrighty, back live, and choose cone time. Top 4 remain. On the bottom is going to be Cole Rodriguez, who will restart on the front row. Up here comes Lonenbach in the number 80 to take second on top side. Riley Trewick third on top. On the bottom is going to be AGG, who I could be giving control. And then Kirsten Bell in P3. And Steven Gibson in row 3. So we're about to cross over into the points of no return. And there we go. No more cautions from here on out, and they are already wrecking. I saw Garcia get clipped, and there's another massive wreck. And that's, I want to say, 12th place on bag. That's Jelani going airborne. We'll check on that after the race. But now it's effectively dumbed down to 12 cars who are going to go for the race win. And that demolished the top side as Cole Rodriguez now slots in second place. See Landon Lonenbach sliding in 5th place. Riley Trewick going to be dropping to the back of this queue, going to slide in 11th place. So yeah, really sucks for them. They hit 3 to go. It's just a matter of who's going to peek out first. On board with Gibson, giving pushes to Kirsten, who gonna get bumper grabbed by her, as he was probably expecting the 29 to move up to the outside with that momentum, but opted not to. Trewick and that'll be Negron trying to work together on the outside. The only 2 opting for that line so far as we hit 2 to go. The 29 starting to warp, and there is a bit of gap between 4th and 5th. Lonenbach trying to set up a pass here. What could be for the deciding move. Gibson's gonna block that. Oh, really aggressive. It'll be for 3rd as Gibson with that block trying to get back in line. Kirsten was not having any of it. Oh, Gibson lose again as they hit the white flag. The temper's about to flare here. But no one wants to work with each other. It She's going to be the 5 who sits pretty. There goes Kirsten Bell. And she'll quickly get on the apron. There goes her chances. Steven Gibson also shuffled out. That gives linebacker number 80 the biggest run of his life. He's gonna have to take it. He's got Sebastian Kugelin and Landon Lau to help him. Coming off 4. Will it be enough? AGG blocks. Linebacker gets turned. But it is Alexander Gonzalez Green who wins the inaugural BPNR truck race. Yet no one can dethrone the number 5. There was attempts to, but the throne is his. Your Season 7 Cup champion. Where emerges victorious here. Well, the race became stupid in the final 10-ish laps. But that did not faze him. Still just did what he usually AGG does, just blocking out the lanes, and did it to perfection. Got wrecked in last season's Daytona 150 after another dominant day, but this time going to be a well-deserved win for Alexander Gonzalez Green. Just one of the best NR plate racers in any discipline. Celebrations have already begun as AGG smokes it on the apron here in front of Daytona Beach, Florida, after a wild finish to conclude the race. He's still going on the curve to try an oval. And he's doesn't look like it's stop. I thought you're gonna head into the road course here. Not accessible in this model, but still very fun route to take. And finally, the burnout streak is over. Yep, just one of those races where it was tame to start, but then got chaotic and got a lot to cover. And yeah, we'll definitely look at the final wrecks that occurred, but for now, might as well give you the unofficial race results here. So it's going to be the 5 of Alexander Gonzalez Green who wins. Maybe Sebastian Kugelin in P2. Lau in 3rd. Steven Gibson P4. Cole Rodriguez in 5th. Ryan Scarrett P6. These number cards are not right. I'm pretty sure I updated them. There we go. Ryan Scarrett 6th. Dylan Negron P7. Riley Trevick in 8th. It'll be Thomas Trox will be 9 and Len Long back in the top 10. Daniel Rodriguez in 11th. Gatlin Downey in 12th. Be Kirsten Bell in 13th. And Skylar Den in 14th. Dragons 15th. Carl Joseph P16. Murren Bell in 17th. Noel Nichols 18th. Lexi Herman in 19th. And Roman Gonzalez in the top 20. Second page here sees Matt McIntyre in 21st, Riley Golf in 22nd. It'll be Sierra Cooper 23rd, Jackson Brown 24th. Hector Garcia 25th. We'll look at his wreck in a moment pretty much the start at the restart. Lane Johnson 26th, Ruby Estes 27th, Crawford 28th, Daniel Rivera 29th, and Joshua Clements in 30th. Thomas Johnson 31st, Ace Racer 32nd, Julian Howell 33rd, Chris Dahlmeyer 34th, and the only retirement out of the race, at least for the long portion of the race, was William Viola with an RNG failure. I'm gonna double check I get the replay, so that way I don't have to stay in the server for it. For the what will be the post race turkey timeline. No interviews yet, from what I can tell. Give me a moment here to get it set up. Okay, I'm ready now. So on the front row were Alexander Gonzalez Green and Thomas Trox. So, yeah, the pretty chaotic start to the race almost. But we fire off. Lap 6, see here, with Viola and at number 27 experiencing a camshaft failure, putting him out of the race very early into the running. This is lap 21, where mayhem in the first set of green flag pit stops, the only green flag pit stops actually, so go into more detail here. Carl Childress the first to get spun, that being the 94 Thomas Johnson. But Clemens spins off to the side, getting tagged by Ryan Scarrett. And Julian Howell just up the road from that, getting turned after trying to commit to his pit box, which is pretty early. Riley Trawick getting spun around. And, yeah, just a lot of chaos in the first group here, as two more groups will come down later on during that run. Clements, because of that, had to fight for his lead lap status. Unfortunately, gets tapped around by race leader Steven Gibson, and that just set up a very dangerous situation as he comes back up in front of the track, in front of the second group. And while most of them survived, Ace Racer did not, triggering our first caution flag of the day. Roman got wrecked under caution. Again. Who's that behind him? Jelani. Just Roman has been wrecked every which way Saturday in IFR, and give this man a break. Like, what did he do? Trying to go forward here as I do spot an interview. Trying to go through this as soon as I can. As Skylar Den, a lap 45, getting tapped by Ruby Estes. No caution for that. And immediately afterward, Ruby Estes gets her own medicine, cutting in front of Julian Howell and triggering caution flag. And down the back straightaway, collecting Ace Racer and Julian Howell. And not much longer after, it'll be Garcia and Childress up against the outside wall of turn 1, both of them catching air, triggering no yellow. Lap 52, Netco collision between Clements and Troxel that sends the 48 up in the outside wall. Harry Crawford catching air underneath, and Thomas Troxel also spinning as a result. Yeah, just a messy second half here, and it doesn't get any better. As towards the front, Scary clips D-Dog and all this mess and behind the leaders, triggering our big one. Just collecting numerous cars. And Clemens just being a little brain dead in the number 48, unfortunately, so then this final, well, back on the final restart, Garcia blew a gear and triggering another wreck, another big one. And this is the first time I've been seeing it in full. Just Jelani smacking the 43, nowhere to go, hits the pit wall where AGG would pit, and gets entangled with Joshua Clemens, sending them in a spiral like they're ballerinas. But because they're at the point of no return by this point, everyone had to get out of the way as soon as they can. That's Ace Racer blowing the engine, and the late stages here. Onto the final lap, but the aggressive moves that the 82 and 29 were pulling up, 82 had enough. Ground goes Kirsten. So that's set up a big chance for Back to potentially get a win here. And we'll see. AGG went up to block. Ultimately, the 80 gets turned by Kukulon at number 45. But it's going to be a very dominant win for the number 5 of Alexander Gonzalez Green. And, well, I did say I had an interview, but that was Lando Lau, who already left the TeamSpeak, so I guess we're not going to have him. Or anyone for that matter. So, with that, I might as well wrap up. Just boring turn, pretty chaotic, kind of a race at Daytona. Got one more Daytona event this week, that being BPNR on Friday, but before that there is CCRS heading to Brazil, the defunct Trapezoid Oval in Rio de Janeiro. That'll be 8:25. BPNR Daytona 200 broadcasted here. And Saturday, IFAR heads to the Pocono Mountains for their third race of the season. I shall be in the booth with Zach Armstrong and Cheese Food Media. Then I'll bring us up again during Friday's broadcast, but BPNR with the weird scheduling they have this week, going to take a off week come this next week, so there won't be a race for trucks until the 19th. They'll take a visit to Indianapolis Raceway Park or Lucas Oil Raceway Park, whichever deems fit for you. Good short track, I've seen a lot of good action in the Budweiser side of things, so hopefully that transpires. So with that, thank you for tuning in, and yeah, this week has just been really draining for me, just covering 3 races, technically 4 races if you want to separate the dual races. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff I have to do in the background, and that included pretty much a failure, I want to call it, that it was the starting grid animation I tried doing for pretty much all the BPNR streams I've been doing it now this season. Just one of those things that didn't work out, unfortunately. Everything else works fine. It's just, I don't know what it is with advanced scene switcher. So until I have a definitive fix for it, I'm not going to be utilizing that and just revert to the traditional method that was just open up the qualifying order in the game and just read it out. So, despite that, hope the broadcast was still good nonetheless, and put a lot of heart and soul into these things. The things I do for BPNR and Buzzweiser, and just any league I broadcast, I just put all my effort towards it. Give you all the best coverage possible. So, with that, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for tuning in. So, until Friday's race, the BPNR Daytona